Hello and welcome to the Banker's Masterclass series in partnership with SmartStream with the title Future-Proof Technology. I'm Kimberley Long, Asia Editor of The Banker, and I'm joined by Haytham Kaddoura, CEO of SmartStream. In this first chapter in the series, we look at how the adoption of digital technology by banks has been accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic and how it can benefit clients by streamlining operations and driving down costs. Thank you for joining me today, Haytham.
Thank you, Kimberley.
So the pandemic has focused the banks to rethink their operating models. From a technology vendor's perspective, what have been the big changes?
I think for many of us, this is probably the first time in recent history where financial institutions had to have such a vast change on the way they operate. And pretty much a lot of that impacted vendors. So whether you're looking at back office setups in terms of how to manage employees working remotely, to data security issues related to that, all the way up to the front office where with the increased volume of digital payments, clients relying heavily on digital channels and the spike in transaction volumes that entailed. A lot of banks were not particularly ready for that. And on a very short notice, everybody had to jump up and see what they could do and how to best manage under the circumstances.
And with this great change now, what technology is being adopted to help facilitate this move into the new way of doing banking?
I think from a technology perspective, the changes were quite two-faceted. On one side, they were looking at how technology is being operated. And we had a lot of our clients push greater volumes with us through our managed services operations, relying on effectively third parties, us and others, who could pick up part of their teams or part of their operations and run with it seamlessly, with practically no interruptions to our bank's activities. The second facet, obviously, was the technology itself. If you look at the expedited adoption of cloud technologies, increased desire of banks to look at data lakes, how do they better monetize the data that the institutions have. And I think over the last few months, this has picked up a new life, right? Because while institutions were looking at, for example, data that's coming down in from the retail operations, now they're trying to integrate it from the various data points and see what value it could deliver to the clients, right?
Great. Well, thank you for joining me, Haytham.
Thank you. Thanks.
And in the second chapter of the series, we will be looking at how the better use of digital technology can help banks to reduce their costs.